Hey guys, and welcome back to another video tutorial. We're going to continue our section of touching up photos. Part 2 today will be changing eye color. So with this image here, first thing I'm going to do is zoom in, Control plus on my keyboard, okay, so I can see both eyes. I've got my background layer. I'm going to go ahead and create a new layer. Just name it left, because that's, as far as my point of view, I'm going to be looking at this eye on my left currently. The first step we would take is in our tools. We go to our second tool from the top. We're going to choose the elliptical marquee tool to make a selection right around this pupil here. We can kind of avoid that lighting, but I'm going to just click and drag. And then you can actually nudge it with the keys on the keyboard to cover the black or pupil part of your eye. We want to actually work with the area outside of the selection. So instead of working inside, we want to work outside. And to do that, we're going to go to the Select drop-down menu at the top and choose Inverse or Opposite. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to choose a wild color for the sake of this example, this lime green. And then grab my brush tool. And then you want to make your brush tool a size that is decent for you to work with here. I'd say around 20 is good. And then I'm just going to click and kind of paint around that pupil, kind of fill in and paint on any part of the eye that's got that pigment other than white. Okay. Doesn't have to be totally perfect for this example. Okay, but there we go. Obviously, that just looks insane, right? That doesn't look realistic at all. But if we go to our layers panel, the blending properties here, if I scroll down to color, okay, it gives it a more realistic look to it. Not much, but a little bit. And then if I go to the opacity right here, and I pull this down to around 50, we start to, besides the ridiculous color, I zoom out, Control minus, okay, something that looks a little bit reasonable. And I'm going to do the same process for this other eye. So let me deselect this first. So I'm going to go to Select, Deselect, okay, to get rid of it. I'm going to create another new layer, and I'm going to do the same thing to the right eye. So down here at the bottom of the layers panel, new layer. I'll name this right. Same thing. Elliptical marquee. Click and just kind of draw that circle. Then nudge it with the arrow keys on your keyboard if you need to. Okay, looks good. Want to work outside of the selection or opposite or inverse. So again, select, inverse. Grab my brush tool. There we go. And then again, click and just kind of paint around the pupil. All right. Again, for the sake of the example, it doesn't have to be amazingly perfect. All right, but just a couple times there. Okay. Then again, our blending mode here in our layers panel, take it from normal to color. Bump the opacity down to about 50. Deselect the selection by going to Select, Deselect. Then we'll zoom out a bit. All right, check that out. Okay, if you decided, I don't really like the color of those eyes at this point, so let's work with the right eye first. So what we're going to do is make an adjustment by creating an adjustment layer. That panel is right here, adjustments. If you don't see it, go to your window drop-down menu at the top and choose adjustments. If it has a check mark next to it, it's visible. Okay. The adjustment layer that we want to create for the right eye is hue saturation. So I'm going to click it. Okay. And then I want to click this icon to make sure it snaps only to the layer directly below. Okay, it's only going to affect the right layer now. I'm going to click this colorize box. I'm going to use the slider. Maybe I want this to be red. Okay, or purplish. Okay, you can choose the saturation. There you go. So you can use those sliders to make those adjustments. Your hue and saturation adjustment. And then if we just remember the numbers there, 303 for the hue, we can go to the left eye. Same thing, adjustments, hue and saturation adjustment layer. We want to lock it so it only affects the left. Hit colorize, and then again it was like 301-ish. 303, that works too. Okay, and there you have it. But again, you can adjust those sliders, etc. Zoom out, control minus, and there you go. You have successfully modified eye color using Photoshop CC. Hope this was helpful. See you guys in the next tutorial.